First, if you're recording audio today, that's what I'm first going to ask you.
I am recording audio today.
Good. We just talked about this off camera, but like last week for our absolute diehard fans, Spencer used camera audio, like the absolute dog shit mic from the camera, and the AI made it sound pretty good. I was impressed. It was good.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I'm thoroughly impressed.
But I like your microphone, and I'm glad it's turned on this week. And I'm seeing waveforms on mine, so nice. I think
we love that.
I think we're good.
Yeah, but shout out to Crumple Pop. Like, I want them to sponsor the pod because they really saved the episode.
They did. Yeah. I hadn't even heard of them until you were like, oh, yeah, I use this. And I was like, oh, I don't even know what that is. I got to go look it up.
Yeah. The only reason I knew of it is because Maxon bought it. And Maxon is the people who... I might have said that the wrong way.
Oh.
Hold on. Let me... What did I say? Crumple Pop. They
Crumple
do...
Pop?
Oh, no, the people who do Boris Effects, who have Sapphire, Mocha... like all that whole like massive effect suite that's way too expensive to buy.
Okay.
They bought Crumple Pop.
Nice.
And yeah, it's pretty good. It's like a little bit beefy in terms of like running speed. There's one, I wish they was still kept going. I still use it to this day, and it is a discontinued product. That's a VST plugin. It's called Alex Audio Butler, and I use it to this day on every single video. Yeah.
Dang. What does it do? Like, what do you like about it?
I feel like I'm giving away a dirty secret. I don't do anything to audio. I don't master. I don't compress. I don't do anything. This plugin, literally, you just drag it, drop it. You choose: is this a consistent speaker in a consistent source, or is it varying sources? And then I feed it a mono signal. It gives me a stereo signal, so both speakers instead of just the one. It compresses that audio, and then there's a master plugin. You put that on, and it brings it right up to -1. There's a music plugin. You put that on your music track. That'll auto duck everything. There's a sound effects. That'll put your sound effects, like squish them where they need to be. Like, it's basically just like 4 things that you put on all your tracks, and like you just leave it, you set it. You don't need to touch any levels, essentially. I don't use the music one or the sound effect one anymore, but the vocal one I use on everything. Like every podcast that you guys have been listening to has been processed by but unfortunately they discontinued like 2 years ago, they discontinued it. So every Resolve update, I'm like, all right. So
is it still gonna work?
Yeah. So
but it still is.
It still works, and that is the reason that I haven't made an audio preset bundle yet.
Because you're like, don't need to. I've got it, and I can't do it better. Dang. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, yeah, I like that dirty secret because you never told me that, and I definitely spend some time doing some of that stuff. That being said, my dirty secret is like, for my audio for this podcast, I do it through Logic, and I have a custom EQ, like a compressor and a limiter. And then there's like the final output mastering. And I just clicked there's like 6 different options in Logic, and I think you can tweak them, or maybe there's more than 6. I can't remember. I need to look at it more. But there's just like a button at the end that you can just say master. And like my audio sounded okay. And then I hit that button and like started exporting these episodes like this. And I was like, wow, this sounds really good. And like, I got a compliment, like, was that last week or the week before? They were like, dude, I have that microphone. Hats off for getting it to sound that good. And I'm like, it's like 3 button clicks in Logic, dude. Like, but
I mean, honestly though, like these like more, like I'm going to put in quotes, like expensive mics are actually like kind of hard to use. Like
they are.
because you're recording like such a soft signal. I don't know how to say that properly, but like when you like first get your signal into the program, you're like, this sucks. What the fuck? It's so quiet.
Yeah, this sounds terrible. Totally. No, they are very hard to use. And I mean, I think I could get it like decently sounding, and then this Logic mastering button that like I just never tried before, because I was like, this can't be that good. And then I was like, oh, this sounds really good. But
why I ended up looking at Crumple Pop is because I think they're gonna step into this like auto space. They have I think it's called like just Leveler. I think it's like Leveler Pro or something. So you put that on your master bus at the end, and it'll like auto level your entire sequence, which is super handy. So like
super handy.
That's exactly why I started to. And they have a Lav like de-rustler, which is why I bought it. Yeah, I was editing something that I just couldn't for the life of me take out that rustle from the Lav. Yeah. And like kudos to the Crumple Pop, because that it worked in that scenario too. So
really,
yeah.
Dang, that's sick.
Yeah,
dude, auto audio stuff is awesome. Like, even as someone who spent a fair time loving the craft of audio, like I am not someone that's like a gatekeeper whatsoever. Like, I hear about these tools and I'm just like, yes, give them to me.
Yeah.
Like,
I
never wanted.
I wish Resolve had a better reverb plugin.
Oh yeah, dude, it's dog shit. It sounds so bad all of the time. I wish Resolve I wish Resolve had a lot of things. Let's be honest. Do you want to know? Okay, sorry.
Tell me.
we got to hit this real quick. I saw someone on Threads post, I wish I could remember it quote for quote, but they basically were saying like, don't let the YouTubers like lie to you. Resolve is great, but it's still version, what are we on, 19? Version 19, and you can't retime the audio in the edit page easily or something like that, so why I wanted to ask you is because in Final Cut, the same way you can do speed ramping on any clip in Resolve, you can do that on any audio clip in Final Cut. So you can like hit the speed ramp button and you can make it longer, make it shorter, speed it up, which is like so handy for sound effects, sometimes for music, depending on how wacky you're getting with it. And like Resolve has that stupid little slider in the inspector to change the speed of a sound effect, and it's absolute trash. It's trash. And you should be able to just speed ramp and adjust the clip, I think. I don't know. Does Premiere have that?
I agree with you. Yeah, the Premiere works the same way.
Okay.
You can't speed ramp in Premiere, but it that could have changed, but at this point, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
But they really want you to go to Fairlight to get that elastic tool or whatever they call it, and like be able to slow things down the way that you can for video in the edit page. And it's like, guys, come on.
Come on.
I'm like literally hitting Command D to like type in like, oh, I want it 50% of this. Don't change the pitch. Like, I'm like, this is such a long workflow to slow down audio doing that. Whereas Premiere, you could just like rate stretch it the same way you can in DaVinci, like where you like slow down a clip and drag it out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how it is in Final Cut. And it's just like, yeah, I just saw that and I was like, I totally had forgotten how much I hate that Resolve is that way on that particular thing. And I was just like, because I don't retime audio as much. Like in Final Cut, I'll straight up just be like, oh, this whoosh, I wish it was just like 3 frames shorter. And it still sounds like so good or whatever, and you just have that control. Whereas like in Resolve, it'd be like, let's just scoot it over, fade it in a little bit or whatever, you know?
It's also easy to take the same sound effect and use it. Like I would do this consistently in Premiere, to take one whoosh and across one animation, go 100, 90, 80, 70. So it sounds different every time.
Yes.
But it's like such a lower lift. But in Resolve, I'm like, well, I guess I'll get a new sound effect.
Yeah, let me find a different whoosh, but it sounds too different from the one I was just using. I wish it was a little more consistent. Yeah,
just because it takes too long to be like so many buttons.
Right. But typing that out or doing the slider for the 80%, 90, whatever, like that, it's super inconvenient.
What slider are you talking about?
The speed. The clip speed. In the inspector, there's a clip speed, and that one does work on audio clips, but it's just the worst.
Yeah. Even going into the inspector is like I don't love for audio.
The only time I should be going into the inspector is to be just having a fantastic time in Motion Tween. Okay, that's it. That's all I should be doing.
Facts.
Facts.
Straight facts.
Dude, I love that we're selling that, and I love that people are loving it. It's so good.
Yeah, it's been good so far. Like, I like the response that people actually find value in it. So
yeah, I've been using it like crazy. That's like what I want to do for my next video is something with that. Which I think we've talked about it before. The big version is like animating all the logos or whatever. The small version is like, did I text you? I texted you. I finally got those stickers that you sent me, which they're sick.
Yeah.
And they're on the wall. And I was like, I could totally just like sit down and make another sticker video and use Motion Tween and have a great time. Like I should just do that to get back in the groove, but
fair.
Haven't done it yet. We'll see.
Did you do any writing while you were away? Like for videos?
A little bit. Well, no, actually, just for this. Let me think about that. Did I write anything for? No, I didn't write anything for personal stuff.
Nice.
Because, great segue, boss man. I brought my laptop, and God, I hate traveling with a laptop. I absolutely hate it. Like and you made the switch. I wanted to circle back with you. Like I want a desktop and an iPad again. Like now that we've got Apple Silicon, it's a vision I'm trying to get to somehow in the next like 5 years.
Yeah, well, dude, iPads just are like, it's a race to the bottom right now of like price.
Really?
It really just depends like what performance and screen size that you want.
Which again, I don't think I need, because here's the thing. I always sit there and go, man, it'd be fun to edit in the places that I travel. And like the number of times that happens is basically zero. Like editing happens in the shed or something like that, right? For me at least, like some kind of desk setup. I do love writing when I'm on the go, and I do like editing pictures, and I feel like any iPad could do both of those things super well. And I don't know why I just don't make the jump.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel you, but like, yeah, like what is it about the laptop that you don't like? Because essentially, like, it's a built-in keyboard, it's a perfect writing tool.
It's just too big, right? Like, I don't like carrying it around. Because I've got the big beefy one to be a video editor, and like when I want to just sit down and write, it just kind of feels like I'm pulling out a chunk of metal. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel you. Let me tell you a little story.
Tell me a story.
Because this week I picked up my MacBook from the repair shop.
Okay.
Which it's been broken for like, I don't know, a year.
Yeah.
Like just the display portion of it's been broken for a year.
Yeah.
If not close to. And I was just like, I really want to know like what was the source of it, because I have it docked like 99% of the time. And she was like, oh, there's no questions here. It was like blunt force. Like it hit the edge. Like, were you bringing this around? And like it had some sort of impact on it. And I'm just like, trying to think back, and I'm like, there was a point in time where I was going caseless and just biking around and going to coffee shops and stuff, like,
Yeah.
because I wanted to like type and do all those things like outside, like the light work. But that was a $1,600 mistake.
Yeah.
$1,600 to replace the screen, dude.
$1,600. That's expensive. Did you
That's-
no? So where did you land? Because last time we talked, you were saying that you wanted to just dock it and not even like fix the screen. So you did fix the screen.
Yeah. Literally like 2 days ago.
Oh,
But we've been having this conversation for like a year. So
yeah.
at the beginning of this, I was like, hell no, I'm not replacing this ever. And I ended up getting an iPad. And that is so much more like rugged, I feel like. It might just be because it's a little bit smaller. But I do
Yeah.
feel like in some way that it's more rugged because it's just like it has a million case options. Don't love the keyboard, but I think it could just be the keyboard that I have. But man,
Yeah.
you can pull up and be writing anywhere because that thing is so small.
Anywhere. Well, and there's no moving parts, right? Like on a laptop, you've got the hinge, which is just asking for failures, whereas the iPad, it's like just a solid screen brick with, yeah, like you said, cases, and
Yeah.
the keyboard is detachable.
Yeah, like you just need to keep the biggest choice of that is just like, do you like my? Do I have the iPad in here? No. It has a hinge that like so it sits away from the keyboard. It's like the
Yeah.
Apple keyboard or whatever.
Yeah.
I got it secondhand, so there's definitely some like Coke in the keys or something because they're all sticky. But like,
Yeah, someone.
but then there's ones that you can just rest it on the keyboard, like the Logitech makes. But then you like it's
Yeah.
always on your lap or something. Like it always has to be leaning, which I didn't love.
Right.
So there's pros and cons of that. For me, I don't think editing video is realistic on the iPad. I don't.
No, and I don't think so either. But again, I just don't know that I just don't know that I do that. Like, I mean, I say that I have done a decent amount of editing like in the house on my laptop and not in the shed, but I don't know. I'd love to try it. And I guess I just need to do some research on like how I would transition into that workflow.
Well,
because-
they do have Final Cut now
Yeah.
on the iPad. Because
Yeah.
DaVinci only has the cut page, which like,
That ain't.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're
Yeah.
not. Yeah. Say no more. We need to say no more about that.
I will say I've used DaVinci on the iPad to edit photos because of the color
Yeah.
page. But
Right.
Lightroom is amazing. Photoshop is great. Like there's for image editing, top tier. 100% would recommend. Like if those are your two boxes that you're checking, like 7 days out of the week, the iPad is going to knock those things out of the park. You could be sitting having
Yeah.
breakfast, like doing anything, typing up a
Yeah.
storm or editing photos. On a desktop, it's just like they're big boy tasks, you know? You're booking
Right.
you're booking flights on a desktop, you know?
Yeah.
You're doing other shit.
Exactly. Yeah, and I just like I fantasize about this like state that I want to get to, and I just this last go around when I bought my latest computer, I was like, no, laptop life, man, flexibility, and I was like, I should have bought a Mac Studio or whatever they are, and then
No.
just pivoted, but
I had this talk with the girl in the store as well. The thing that perplexes me is that Apple has kind of like left the prosumers behind in a way that's confusing to me, that like they forced us to all buy MacBooks.
Yeah.
And somehow have like changed the prices of like they're all really expensive to get a powerful machine. Which is cool because you can just like switch them out and keep using your same display, but like it's a better business model for them, I guess. But like, where is our next iMac Pro or like new Mac Pro that they're just like, yeah, we'll get it on the silicon train, and then it's just been forever.
yeah, and I don't know, like, do we actually think that they're going to do that? I feel like the only way they would do that is if they pull a Audible and bring it back for like.
Dude, they've mentioned it in keynotes, like multiple keynotes.
There was that one keynote where we're like, oh, it's all coming back. And then they didn't do it. And they were like, and now we've updated everything to Apple Silicon. And we're all just sitting there going like, no, you haven't. Where's the iMac? And they're like, well, yeah, there's the colored iMacs, right? That's the same thing. And we're like, no, it's not. Like, what are you talking about?
But I am happy with the performances of these bad boys. Like, I'm genuinely shocked at the MacBook Pro performances.
Oh, for sure. And that's the other problem that I have right now is that, like, to justify what I want to do is the dumbest financial decision ever because, you know, unless I blunt force trauma my laptop, like, it's going to work for me for, I don't know, maybe ever, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is Jake Felzine going to be doing in 6 years that's crazier than what I'm doing right now that this can't do? Nothing. I doubt it.
It's just the programs that get different. But like, I was talking to my buddy. He's on Intel still, and he's looking at getting
wild.
I know he had the very last model before they switched, and so I'm just like, oh, dude, like just pick up an M1 Max, and he's just like, dude, they're already at M4 though, and I'm like, yeah, dude, but like you're gonna be blown away.
It's gonna rock your fucking world, brother. Yeah, like. No, totally. Well, I kept actually, and that's my frame of reference right now is I kept that 2019 MacBook that's Intel. And like, I've tried to do a couple things just to like remember how bad it is. And it's so bad. Like, have to have proxies, have to like nothing just plays, which I mean, it's old. So factor that in. But like, yeah. And even sometimes like, and that's probably because it's old, but even sometimes just writing on that thing, I'll get like a little lag and I'm just like, what? This is a word processor. But
man, what did you start editing on? Like what software?
Like the very first or like first professional?
No. Like where'd you start cutting on?
Oh my God, what were they called? So I started in college, which was during my
Avid?
I was doing my CS degree. So
iMovie?
I was using like shitty Linux free editors, like open source editors.
Okay, what was your first like brand name editor?
Like I feel like Shotcut was what it was called. I can't remember. God, I can't remember. So first branded one was probably iMovie, right? Because I think I actually got my old like 2012 MacBook out and started using that because I was like, man, this Linux life is just, this ain't it. This ain't it in 2015 or whatever it was.
Wow.
20 or 17 or I don't know, 16, somewhere in there. So I got my old laptop out, did some iMovie editing, and then I think I legitimately bought Final Cut with that 2012 and was just shocked at like how much I could still do with this old machine. I was like, wow, I can still like do some pretty good stuff. And then because I had like my big boy job, I was like, oh, I'm going to get this 2019 MacBook Pro. And I didn't fully realize like how stupid of a purchase that was. But I mean, it's way better than my old computer. But those things just throttled like 2 seconds into doing anything because everything was crammed into this tiny form factor computer. But
I just feel like because my first brand name was Final Cut Pro.
Yeah.
Actually, Windows Movie Maker first, but that's like...
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. All right. Cross dissolves. Like,
yeah, like, whoa, I can do something. Yeah.
Then iMovie. And then like, but I just remember editing in Final Cut, knowing that it was slow as shit, but also feeling like it was cutting edge at the same time. Like what I was doing was just like, okay, I'm going to apply this effect, but I know that it's going to take like 5 minutes to render. Like, and just like accepting that. And like, I just feel like, I don't know if that's complacent of just like, now I'm just like, there can be no barrier when I'm editing. Because like
right.
it doesn't
Yeah.
feel cutting edge anymore. I'm just like, I want to do this. Okay, and I want it to look like that. Now show me. And if it doesn't show me, I'm like, table flip.
Yeah, table flip, exactly. Yeah, if it doesn't render it in like less than 10 seconds, I'm getting pissed off and just not using it. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I just want the shock and awe from like the early days when I was like editing on Final Cut, like just being like, oh my gosh, it's playing back. What a
Yeah.
treat.
Wow, look at this. But those were the days where you had to do the background rendering, right, on everything. And and it took a while and it took up a ton of space if you didn't set stuff up right. Oh man.
Dude, I remember like we'd film skate videos and then my buddies would we would come back to my house, whether it was like a few days later and I would be editing and they would watch me edit. And they'd be like, okay, like show us. And I'm like, I can't. Like I need to render it.
Yeah. Go grab another drink. I gotta render it.
Yeah, like I'm hit enter and we'll come back in 20 minutes and then we'll watch it. Watch the 20 seconds that I've done.
Right. Oh, it is so nostalgic to think back to that. Because you're right, nowadays it's like, I have no patience for any of that. We're so spoiled. I'm just like, well, and I've even turned off background rendering in Final Cut these days because it's like, it can almost play back virtually anything I do regularly. And if it doesn't, I'm just like, wait, what? Huh? What are you doing here, dog? Like, you're dropping frames. What's going on?
Oh man, we're so privileged.
We're so privileged.
What a
And the
world.
crazy thing is that if you loaded up Final Cut for iPad, you get the same snappy experience on like FX3 footage and you're on a freaking iPad. It's just crazy, right? Like,
Dang.
Apple Silicon is truly bananas, but
That is really crazy.
yeah. Yeah,
I wanna
I would
look-
love to try Final Cut for iPad, but also, I don't know. You were the one that texted me this week. You were like, did you know that Final Cut for iPad, you can write in text and it automatically like redoes what you wrote in? I was like, yeah, it's the coolest feature ever. And it's only for for the iPad version.
Dude,
Like, come on, Apple.
what? Like that? I don't even know what video I was watching. I was watching like... Somebody needs to tell Levi Allen that, because I don't think it was Levi Allen, but he does a bunch of handwritten stuff. I think it was just like a YouTube short or something, or Instagram.
Yeah.
It blew my mind, dude.
It's
Blew my
good.
mind.
It was the one feature that I was like, I would love to try this just for that. Like, how do I figure that out?
I would kill somebody. I would kill somebody for that feature.
You would use the crap out of that for your style. You would write everything out.
Dude, okay, so like what we're talking about for people who like aren't aware is like it's basically like hand animation, but in the past to do something like this, if you like hand wrote a title, like I would go into After Effects. I would then use a stroke. I would then click my cursor and redraw the thing that I just wrote, and then I would time it out so that it wrote the thing that I wrote, and then I would adjust a bunch of parameters, and then render it out, and then I would have my title. Final Cut basically said, yeah, just write it, and we'll just animate it for you.
Yeah, we'll just basically redo it. Which, when you think about like programmatically what is happening there, like of course they can do that. It's like, okay, write it out, and then we'll just basically redo it. Like, it's almost like a screen recording of the writing, but like in a technical title for. It's crazy. It's so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah. And like when you break it down like that, it doesn't sound that hard. And like realistically, if you wanted to do that, you should just do a screen recording. But like having to remove all those steps was the part that like shot me back in my seat, to be like, and then it's just a layer. You do this and it's a layer. It's not like I have to render something, or you're screen recording and then you export that. Like, nope. That's it. That's
Yeah.
a text file.
No, and that actually reminds me, because I don't know that we ever circled back on it, but that video that I did, gosh, what was it about? Holy crap. It was a decent enough time ago that I can see where I forgot, but it's not long enough ago to where I feel like I should have. But I did that. I did some graphics and some stuff where I got out our iPad, which doesn't have Apple Silicon, so I can't test out Final Cut for iPad, but I got on Pixelmator. No, was it Pixelmator? No, I got on Procreate and drew stuff and then rendered that out. And I just did screen recordings, white, black on white, or no, white on black, screen it, put it in. All with that idea of exactly like you're saying, of like, what if I did just have these as elements that I just drew on and then could throw in? And it's just a super tedious workflow. Even though I probably did it about as optimized as you could do it, I still just like did not love it. Whereas if you could do it in your editor, like Final Cut, that's pretty sweet. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that would be the most optimized thing I could think of.
Yeah. So,
man,
because I haven't done that since. I was like, this is a great idea. This is going to save me a bunch of time. And then I was like, I don't think so. I don't like it.
What do you think the like text trends are going to be for 2025? Like currently right now, I would say from last year, we're bringing in sans serif. So like thinner fonts. I would say like I'm seeing a lot of those.
Yeah.
I think maybe hand animation probably from this. I think it's going to take a little bit. There's going to be a few people who implement it, and then there's going to be a big wave of like, whoa, how did you do that? And then people are going to be like, on the iPad on Final Cut.
Right. Yeah. They'll be like, oh, this is just like what you have on the iPad. Yeah. Yeah.
I think
so. Yeah. Because again, there's not a good workflow I know of in DaVinci except for basically what you described. Like you have to make the elements and then animate them in Fusion. And that would be, I don't even want to think about that right now. That just sounds like way too much effort.
Yeah, dude, I did a live stream today in Fusion of like in my head, super simple. Took me an hour of just like, yeah, it should be 5 minutes.
Really? Okay, walk me through it. So, because you texted me and I was like, dang it, I'm at work. I can't hop in and be a part of this. But I was like, I'm so stoked that he's doing it because you've wanted to do this for forever. So like, it sounds like everything was slower, which we had expected. But like, what else about the experience? How were the vibes? Did you like it? Like, what's the verdict from the live stream?
Yeah, it was. First of all, I had to like watch probably like an hour of YouTube beforehand of like how to live stream. Like,
yeah.
So there's a bunch of that like stuff, and thankfully, like I had most of the stuff in terms of like connecting my camera and whatever else, and like all this audio gear. Yeah. So then I just like hopped on OBS. I think the thing that I just wasn't prepared of was just like when people like pop on, like, what are you doing? Because like it's not like you can like give an intro and then be like, okay, here's what we're gonna do today, and then like get into it. Like a live stream is like you're almost like constantly giving an intro, if that makes sense.
Right. Totally.
Or like you kind of like have to constantly be speaking, because if you have like 5 people come in and you're just like in the middle, like for me, I was like in the middle of Fusion and I'm just like silent, like just animating. I'm like,
his brain is going.
Like that's probably so boring. So like I just try to talk the whole time of just like, here's what I'm clicking. Okay, I'm gonna add a new node. Okay, now I'm gonna add a transform. Like, and the reasoning behind that. But it was a positive experience. Like, people told me my camera was out of focus. People told me I only had one channel of audio. So, like, nice. It was a helpful environment to to be like, oh, but it kind of goes back to last week what we were saying of just like writing on stage to be like, it would have been cool if I got like some sort of feedback during the show to be like, what do you guys think about this? Oh, this is stupid. Okay, what about this? Oh, this is cooler. Okay, cool. Because then that would give me like kind of a feedback loop of like, oh, okay, people actually like this style. And specifically, like, I'm making a text pack. So if it can appeal to an audience right off the bat, I feel better about releasing it.
Right.
Yeah. But overall,
yeah,
would do it again for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool because, yeah, I know you've been wanting to do that for forever, and I'm very intrigued by it. Actually, it's interesting when you talk through it with me. Like, it is more intriguing than I thought I might feel about it because of exactly what you just said, the practicing, the getting up and just like being like, hey, I just have a live stream set up and I can just hit record and like, let's just make something, right?
Yeah.
Like from a viewer's perspective, yeah, kind of hard to swallow until you do it for, days straight. And they're like, oh yeah, Spencer's usually on around here playing Infusion, and like they know what to expect. Like that'd be sick.
Yeah.
Like,
and
hey, we're just going to work on this.
Exactly. And it's more so like, I was thinking of like, what am I going to do anyways? Like,
right.
What am I going to do anyways without an audience right now? And without like I have an hour lunch break right now. I'm going to hop into Fusion. I'm going to make a title. Let me just also stream. If people want to hop in the chat, great. If not, all right.
Yeah.
Like,
you got what you wanted to get done.
Exactly. So
sort
that
of.
was like,
it took you longer.
Yeah, it definitely took me longer, but I think it was a lot less like nerve wracking than I thought it was going to be, because you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm like, it's like you're like on your computer in public, but it's like totally not like that.
No.
And you also have to remember like the people who are probably clicking are already subscribed to you. So like I had a few people come in the chat and be like, yo man, thanks for everything you do. And I was like,
yeah,
cool man.
Thanks, man. yeah. Just like, thanks, dude. Appreciate.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And like people just pop in and out. So I do think with that experience, I feel more confident trying to also drive this podcast to be live.
Yeah. Which would be incredibly cool. That's the goal. Is we like keep practicing and warming up and getting enough on here to like do a live show. And I'm here for it.
Yeah. I mean, for people who don't know, I'm sure that you can tell, because it'd be crazy if you couldn't, but we don't cut this pod. We like,
no.
You're seeing like really from when we hit record to when we hit stop. Like,
yeah, it's basically as close to live as we can get it, but not.
Yeah, literally. I wonder if we should start like picking a time and subconsciously like every Wednesday at 10 p.m. the podcast, like the video gets uploaded, so that it's like in people's brain. It's not a live show. It's just like, it's just like an upload every.
Right.
Because we probably
it's consistent.
have that. Yeah, we probably have that cadence, but I just like press upload whenever I finish it.
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just like, oh, Spencer got it done. Sweet, it's up.
Literally.
Yeah, I'm sure it would definitely help with that ultimate vision of doing the live Q&A and answering questions. And I still don't know how we're going to do it live remotely, like digitally or virtually, I mean. That's a whole like technical problem we got to look into. But it seems like it's going to be hard.
Wouldn't you just be able to do like feed a OBS signal in, or no?
Yeah, but I don't have like unless OBS can take in like your FaceTime video and audio.
True. Okay,
which
guys,
I guess could work.
Somebody needs to press subscribe on this podcast. We're at 199.
199. What did we say last time? 200 is when we just start raking in the Benjamins.
Yeah.
Except for, well, I do. You don't. You don't get anything because you're up in Canada. No, No Benjis for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just what's on your guys' money? Maple leaves and syrup or something?
Yeah, we have loonies for dollars.
Loonies. Okay.
We got loonies and toonies.
Just a big old moose chilling on there. Dude. This is like, wow. This is not relevant, but this is where we wanted to start. So this last weekend, I was up family cabin trip. And
See a moose?
well, so historically there's always been like a ton of moose up there, which is like awesome. It's one of the coolest. Like I think they're just like the sickest animal. Like I don't know why. I just love moose. And my mom loves them the most. She's like moose lady. We like joke that she just is obsessed with moose. And like I think it was last week, there was like 3 of them that were basically hanging out like right outside the cabin, which has never happened in my life that I remember, for me at least. So she was just on cloud 9. She's got 3 moose like right outside the window. She's taking videos and pictures all day. Like that day, my iMessage was just flooded with moose shit.
Nice.
And she was just having the best day of her life. And so I got all amped because I was like, man, I hope that they're like, they've kind of been a little lower, it seems like, in numbers lately. It seems like they're back this year. I'm going to bring my 70 to 200. I can't wait to see a moose. Didn't see a single moose. But when we were out riding, I did like find probably an antler that had to have been shed within like a day or 2 or something, because there was still like a little bit of like blood on the root of it. So I just like found this super sick antler, and like that was my highlight. Was just like, yep, I got a moose antler.
Dude,
it's cool.
New shed decor.
Yeah, I left it up there because I was like, this feels like it needs to be cabin decor. But for a half second, I was like, that would be pretty sick to bring to the shed.
Yeah, dang,
But-
that is really cool.
Yeah, it was sweet. But anyway, I said moose, and it reminded me of that. But
Yeah, man. Every Sunday, I go hiking with my buddy. We both have dogs, so like it's like more so for them to get out, but also for our mental health in the wintertime.
for sure.
But this past time, we went way earlier than usual. And what the heck do you call a male deer?
A buck?
A buck.
Yeah.
I have seen only a handful of buck in my entire life, but like just a huge buck on the trail, and I was just like, "Whoa,
Really?
that is majestic!" Like just in the forest. And I also saw an owl, and I don't think I've ever seen an owl like up close and personal. But like it was on a low branch, and I was just like sitting there staring at it, like, damn, those things are actually like kind of big and could probably fuck me up if they wanted to.
Totally. No, they're, depending on what kind of you have. Yeah, like they're so cool looking too. And we have them around here, and my favorite thing is when you're like out back at night and they're just like hooting. It's the coolest noise. It's kind of an eerie noise, but I love that. Yeah.
Man.
Oh,
It's
that's
so
cool.
like this time of year is so hard to be creative, I feel like, because like for me it's freezing outside. It's like so frigid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only -10 right now, but with wind chill and everything else, like
It's still cold.
it's definitely really cold, yeah. But I like
Yeah.
where my partner is right now in Sudbury, it's like -20. Like and that's like nice for them.
Right. They're like, oh wow, it's a decent day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, man, like everybody's just inside. I'm just like getting cabin fever, playing Fortnite. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. So did you buy a console? Because you sent me, or I saw that that post you did of Fortnite. Did you get a new
dude.
console, or was
Dude.
that an old one?
my girlfriend's away for 3 months, like on a contract. I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna buy a PS5. What the hell else am I
Yeah.
doing?
I'm playing Fortnite for sure, dude. Oh, dang, that makes me want to hop in again. I haven't played that in a while, but I always have. Fortnite's a great
crazy.
time. It's a great
Yeah,
time.
it's crazy. But yeah, I feel like right now I'm like definitely struggling to be especially like, I don't know what it is, like coming off a high of a video to be like, oh,
Yeah.
I think, not to say I'm by any means like successful with like 2,000 views, but like
Yeah.
it is a successful video. It's because
For sure.
I know it's just a good video, and the traction from behind the scenes of like how the shop is doing, like it's just going well. So like to make a video that's not of that caliber doesn't intrigue me right now.
Yeah.
And like I'm slowly, like I just feel like I should be working on the next thing,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, I don't know what to do with myself. It's like hard to get inspiration because I can't touch grass, or it's like there's barriers to touching grass, you know, putting a scarf on.
Well, it's worse than putting a scarf on. It's cold. I'm with you on there. I mean, it's. No, I feel you. I feel you. So you don't, because I think you were asking me about like writing and stuff. I mean, you don't have anything kind of in the chamber or that you're thinking about, or because I'm kind of in your same boat, and I guess I hadn't thought about it, but I think you're right in that, like the high of like both of our videos being successful for both of us and having the ties of the plugin, and like we've been kind of going back and forth on it for so long, it does feel like a very nice like bookend. So then like it's like, well, what do I don't want to do anything after that. Like, what do I tack on to this perfect ending that we've got of, you know, like, yeah, I don't know. So you're feeling that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, big time. And I think it's the thing that we were talking before we started recording is that like that was one of the videos that like, okay, we're going to do the thing. And we just like took the on ramp for 3 weeks, you know, because we knew both of us were just like, there's going to be an outcome. And we just have to try whatever that outcome may be. We're going to invest this 3 weeks into it and whatever. But now I'm just like, holy shit. Like 3 weeks is, I think what I'm thinking is like starting from ground zero is difficult. Like I'm like, oh, I have ideas, but are any of them like worth pursuing for the next 3 weeks?
Right. Yeah, and I think that both of us obviously felt pretty passionate about what that product needed to be, which is exactly like you're saying, where it's like, even if you have some other ideas, it's like, well, but do I?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I guess in hindsight, it is kind of crazy to think about kind of that lightning in a bottle that we really captured there of like, wow, we both really care about this. We both really want this. And then you like went and made it, which was insane. And then we were both like, how do we promote this? What are the videos we want to make to do this? And they both did really well. And it's just like, it's hard to repeat, right? It's hard to repeat.
Yeah, because there's something that happens when you're just like, okay, I have this script and like, I know how to get from point A to point B. And right now I'm basically like looking at a few title ideas and I can maybe envision the whole story, but I'm just like, I think the passion for it is more like forced to be like, I feel like I should finish this and get it out. But like, man, that's like, being a YouTuber is hard because it's like, that's the train that you just can't get off of.
Yeah, you constantly are chasing that over and over and over again. Which really, I mean, pivots nicely into the 75 hard thing you wanted to talk about. Because that's another example of like someone, well, hold on, I'll explain it in a second. Let me follow this train of thought, but it's an example of someone basically coming up with some idea that they just go chase creatively at whatever cost, right? So, well, you explain it because you're the one that sent it to me, but it's such an interesting thing that I'd never seen, and you told me about it, and get the people up to speed.
I feel like a lot of people know 75 hard. If not, it's like, it's usually in reference to like a workout regimen that you follow for 75 days. And
straight,
there's like
right?
Yes, straight.
Yeah,
And it's
straight.
like revolving around like working out twice a day. One has to be outside. You have to drink a bunch of water, yada, yada, yada. Like there's all these rules that you have to follow. So this YouTuber has like kind of changed the game essentially. And she basically turned the tables and said, let's do 75 hard YouTube edition. I did do some recon because I was like kind of flabbergasted at like how well the quality is for like a fresh channel from January 2025. And she's like coming in and just being like, all right, like YouTube 75 hard edition. She already has a channel that has like, I think over 100K.
Okay.
So it's not like she's like new to the YouTube game, but she started a new channel. And what was interesting...
That's the point. Well,
that's
keep
the
going,
whole point.
But...
So like already she has like 2K subscribers, which like is amazing. But like all the videos, basically the concept of like what she's speaking is like take out the friction. Is like we talk about that all the time. But like,
yeah,
what if you just sat down, riffed for 20 minutes, minimal editing, posted? That's your 75 hard every day. Show up every day for 75 days. What would that look like? And like, if you really think about it, like if in that light, like, yeah, probably like I probably scroll TikTok or Instagram for 20 minutes every day. Cumulatively. You know?
Yeah.
So like if I took that time and I just like shared your thoughts about a movie or shared your thoughts about an album and like showed up every day and did it for a different album, like it's a long ass time when you break it down. Like
75 is no joke.
Yeah. But it's the point of like the workout regimen is like it's enough to change your life. Like once you get to 75, you're like, oh, I'm a fucking different person now. Like,
right.
Because you have that behind you. And it would work the same in YouTube. Like once you show up 75 times, you would understand how to do YouTube. Because I think Colin Samir said something that like it takes 100 videos to figure out how to make videos. Yeah.
For sure. A lot of people have said that, and I think it's the truth.
Yeah, I
sometimes more
wholeheartedly agree. I'm still figuring it out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm 200 or 300 in, and I wouldn't say I've figured it out even remotely. But
yeah,
but why? I mean, great summary, by the way. Nailed it. Super interesting, and I think we'll talk more about that. But like, I think what my thought process there was, just like we're saying, is like, hey, we finished basically our 3-week 75 hard with the plugin. And so now you're sitting there going like, well, what's my next 75 hard? Because after doing something of that caliber, just making a regular YouTube video certainly doesn't sound appealing right now. It's like, no, I want like something a little meatier to work towards. Yeah. Because I just saw how changed I felt doing this big effort and collaborative, with Jake and
Dude, that totally
communication and feedback and the idea of the fact that we even like actually were in each other's videos was so fun too, or that I was in your video. I was just like, this is great. We need to do this more. And like, I don't know. It was just like so good, so cool, so much growth there that it's like, well, okay, what's the next version of this? And I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Like it feels like I'd be cheating myself to do like a sit down video of just like, here's how to use this effect in DaVinci Resolve. Let's look at the screen. And that's the video. Like,
exactly.
I can do that. I have ideas for things that I want to cover like that, but I just don't want to story tell that way right now. And maybe that's just right now, maybe I'll circle back to that. Because I think if I'm going to do that right now, it's going to be a live stream because I can't be effed to edit it.
Yeah, totally. No, and I'm feeling the same way, which is why I feel like I didn't really, which is crazy. Like usually the cabin produces like some pretty creative Jake stuff, and like nothing came out of it except for all of the same thoughts you're having of just like, dang, like what? Like I can't sit down and like make another, oh yeah, I love this in Final Cut and hate this in Resolve video. I mean, I obviously like I can, but like I don't want to.
Yeah,
Like-
it really highlights like, oh yeah, telling a story is fun.
Right. Yeah, it's a good ass feeling. So,
Man, I think about this quote all the time when I feel like this, but or I guess it's not a quote, but like Stephen Pressfield, the guy who wrote The War of Art. That's the book, right?
Art of War,
No.
The War of Art. Maybe I haven't heard of this.
Yes, if you haven't heard of it, you got to read it. Stephen Pressfield.
Okay.
Like
The
classic
War of Art.
classic book of like kind of getting in your own way, trying to push through the resistance of things. But his like personal mantra is that like he protects his momentum. And I think about this all the time because I only think about it when I lose it.
Yeah.
And I get frustrated with myself. But basically when he's like finishing a book and like going on the book tour and just being like, oh yeah, like I wrote this best-selling book, I'm gonna go on a book tour, I'm gonna kick my feet up, like I'm gonna just like go on the journey, which if you equate it, like we did this video, we're selling this plugin, and now we're just like letting it go out into the wild, watching the comments come in and interacting with those. Basically he's just saying, he's like, yeah, when I finish and I start the book tour, I'm writing the next book on the book tour. Like I'm not basking I'm taking it. I'm definitely present in it, but I'm working on the next thing because I know if I don't, when am I going to start? So he's like, I'm constantly, before I'm finishing, I'm lining up the next thing in pre-pro. And so as soon as that's done, now I switch over here and like bring that to the finish. And now when I have that thing, like it's a baton that you're constantly handing off. And I think it's just, to me, I've never been able to crack the code of just like, if I'm following this video through, how am I going to do pre-production over here? You know?
Right. Or even, doing both seems really daunting. So I guess maybe for our brains, how do you finish and then immediately? Well, that being said, I guess I can kind of see it where like, kind of like what I've been trying to do. It's like if I carve out a little bit of time every morning to write something, there should be something there, something worth grabbing as soon as I finish the current one that's probably good enough, right?
My camera died.
Dang it. I think I was right in the middle of my most riveting thought yet, too.
I don't want to throw any shade at small rig batteries, but
they're not sponsoring the pod after that performance. Throw some shade.
Yeah, the camera was plugged in and it still died.
That's frustrating.
Anyways, okay, take us home. Let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap this up. Let's see. So did we get to a good point on that thought of like, I'm trying to remember where you cut out, but basically, just like you said, we're talking about how we've kind of kicked our feet up after the last big project, and how do we be better at keeping that momentum going? And I don't think we have the answer, but someone who wrote that fancy book you're going to tell me to go read says that you just got to keep going forever, basically. Which is funny because I do think I've heard people argue for the opposite, where like, hey, enjoy when things finish and let the next seed naturally grow slowly, and don't.
Yeah.
It's both.
Specifically in this case, I think he's literally just talking about himself in his own personality.
Yeah.
It was like on a podcast, I think, that I heard this. And when I heard it, I'm like, I resonate with that so much because I feel like I'm the exact same way.
Yeah.
Like if I finish something, I find it very difficult to find the next target.
Yeah.
Versus like if I've already chosen that and like it's already in motion, I'm like, oh, well, I'm gonna take that one to the finish. Oh, that one's close. Okay, let me take that one to the finish.
Yeah.
Like, which like, it's simple in practice because I definitely have like proof on the channel that you can kind of see that like, oh, there's 4 videos in a month one time.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's like, oh, he let it go. And then there was like 3 months gap.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there was 3 videos in a month. Oh, okay, weird. Like they come in like little spurts because of that momentum. So it's like kind of trying to use it to your advantage when you feel like you can, essentially.
Right.
Because you might definitely need, like, after a big push, like, you're working long hours at work, you're like, yeah, dude, give me a break. I need a vacay.
Yeah.
But
But
sometimes it's not like that.
yeah, and that's why that 75 hard idea is so intriguing, because it's like, I mean, that is forced momentum, right?
Yes.
That is like saying, I will not let the momentum die no matter what, even if it's not the best video, like something's going out, which is intriguing.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, maybe your 75 hard is a lunch live stream every day in Fusion.
That would be interesting to see if I could live stream for 75 days at like 7 p.m.
It'd be cool.
You know? I don't think that'll be possible, like, when I start working for Maddie, but...
Yeah, probably not. But I like the
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, man, I'm just going to take my lunch break real quick. I'm going to live stream in the studio. Can you do that?
Yeah, we have a separate setup for just Spencer's, like, daily live stream.
Oh, man, that's so funny.
Knowing him, though, he might be like, actually, you know what? This is kind of a sick idea. We'll make a video about it when you're done, or so. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I do have one of my ideas right now is something that I regret from working for Matt. And I kind of want to run it by him to see what he thinks, like to get like kind of a temp reading on him, but like kind of just record my first month. Like I remember being so nervous the first time I hopped on like an all hands call.
Yeah.
With the whole team for Matt D'Avella. And like, I'm just like, how the fuck am I here right now?
Yeah. So do that for Maddie, you're saying?
Yeah, like basically just record my first days and first month to be like, kind of just like a retrospect for myself to look back on, to be like, dude, you were very nervous going into this. Like, here's how you got here.
That'd be...
Because like even with Matt, I don't remember at this point, like, because it was just all a blur. It's just like you get an email and then a call and then you're on, like, then you're just working.
Right. Yeah, you don't stop to record or process it for sure. Dude, that'd be so sick. Just for you to have, if he's chill with it, to be like, hey, like, I don't know what contract I need to sign or like whatever you want to do here, but like I want it for me. But like maybe there's a video out of this that would be really fascinating too. Like basically just like, hey, I'm here filming the doc and it may never air, but I want to film the doc just to see.
Yeah. And then like, yeah, like it would be sick to like record stuff there, but like I feel like that even just thinking about that makes me want to like nauseous at this moment, because I'm just like, that'd be so crazy.
Yeah, that would just, that would be really crazy.
It'd be awkward.
Yeah. But even if you just, like, especially early on, even if you just like went home every day and like trapped those thoughts on an SD card, that'd be still so cool to have.
Literally, like that would be my like greater plan. I think it would just be interesting, like, to look back on. Like, I would love to know my thoughts a couple years ago, to be like, what were the asks, you know? Like, when I first started working for Matt, the first thing I did was cut a podcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That never aired. Never did anything.
Yeah.
But, like, it's out there.
Yeah.
I think I may have cut more than one episode. oh, maybe not, but like I like there's just all these ideas that I'm just like, yeah, I remember doing it vaguely. I definitely don't have the files.
Right. Yeah.
But like, yeah, I've cut like it was like a whole sound designed, like kind of like crime thriller podcast, but like not crime thriller, like a historian learning type thing.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know why I went on that tangent, but like, just like to capture these projects that like never go anywhere.
Yeah. Just to remember them and know what you did. And yeah, it'd be really cool. I think you should do it in some form. I mean, I think obviously if something comes out of it in the end, that'd be super cool, but you definitely for yourself should do that.
Yeah. Even if it's just like a journal or something, like
yeah,
writing down.
You for sure should write at the very least and have that be a joint thing with your other writing, which is actually, that's true. I kind of do that sometimes. I'll try to, if I think of something, like write down. Usually it's child related, but you know, like, oh, that was a cute thing that I want to remember or something like that. But sometimes other stuff gets in there too. Cause sometimes I'm just sitting down with my oatmeal and it's like, gosh, like what am I even thinking about? And I'll just like write work related or whatever. And it's like, this isn't creative. This isn't something that's going to turn into a video, but I just gotta like get the engine turning over. I don't know.
Interesting. So it's just a brain dump.
Totally. That's how it always starts. It's just like, what's on my mind? Oh man. Like,
do you delete it?
I haven't yet. No. I just keep a brain.
Like, is it all one document? Do you handwrite it?
No, right now, currently, it's weekly documents that I make a new one every week. And each one is just the date of the Monday or whatever.
So it's all together. It could be creative. It could be life. It could be child.
The child one I have is a separate document specifically, like for things I'm really trying to remember, but like that's it. Otherwise, it's just a daily brain dump. So like stuff about my life that's not like really cute kid memory I'm trying to remember. It all just goes on that document. So
interesting.
Yeah.
How do you like like do you visually break up it at all if you're like going into work? Say you're like, I'm really stressed at work, blah blah blah, but then you have a spark of an idea. Like, do you visually like, okay, I'm gonna hit a couple spaces and start a new thing, or just
dude, I love that we're getting into this. So okay, I'll just like lay out my format here. So at the very top is the date of that Monday, and then that's the name of the document as well. And then I do a subject header in Pages. So like it's Monday and it has a big line across the page. And then I just do bullet points. So it's tabular bullet points. And
gotcha.
Yeah, there's no extra spaces. There's no nothing. It's just like, this is an idea. This is an idea. Okay, this is kind of still a train on that idea. So sub bullet. And then if I get to creative stuff, I mean, I'm usually tabbing over, but I do have the green check mark emoji that I have been using as kind of like this is a creative idea you might want to circle back on. So if I'm scrolling through like the week, I can be like, oh yeah, what's this? Oh, okay, this was an idea. So it's kind of my way of trying to catch my eye in a sea of brain dump. If there was something that I was like, yeah, there's probably a video there. Which there has been no green check marks for days at this point. But
interesting. I like that. It's like almost not holding yourself accountable too. Like to be like, yeah, like what I put down doesn't have to be like gold.
No.
It's just, if I circle back, I circle back. If I don't, whatever.
Yeah. A lot of it is garbage just to try to like kind of get thinking in the morning of just like,
yeah,
whatever.
But there's so many studies and like people, real world people that have just been like, this is the tried and true method. You want a clear mind during the day, brain dump in the morning.
Yeah.
Journal. Like, do these things. Write the things that are swirling around in your brain, and you'll have a better time.
Yeah.
Yet, I know these things. Do I do it?
Hell no.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah. And I haven't been good about it because I didn't do it. I didn't do it at the cabin. And I guess I did it this morning and the day before, but nothing gold coming out of it. But
All right.
yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
we're going to wrap it up there.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up there.
We hope that you journal, because I'm going to start getting better at it. I think this winter, in these dark months, I think it might help me.
I think you should. And again, don't just like throw it out there. Even if you're repeating yourself. Like I would be lying to you if I didn't say that the first dash on every week's notes for Monday is usually something along the lines of, oh fuck, it's Monday. Like, it's pretty consistent.
That's crazy. Yeah, I like that though. I think I just need to get better at like letting go, because like I actually really like writing.
Yeah.
And I hold myself like to be like, okay, if I'm gonna write, let's write something good. And like I'm like, but that's not what I'm here to do.
No.
Like,
no. Yeah, you just got to get things moving. So.
Yeah. All right.
Try that this week.
Get things moving.
And then let's circle back. You and I will talk again in a week.
All right.
Maybe we'll have some ideas, and we'll let the people know.
Yeah. See ya.
See you guys.